Okay, we're talking about area of simple figures today. So I have some shapes here on this page that I drew. I want you to look through them, and you should recognize most or all of them. But we've just been talking about circles in particular. So our circle formula is area equals pi r squared. So if I have this circle has a radius of 4 centimeters, we would plug that into the formula, and we would say area equals 3.14 times 4 squared. Okay, so how does that work out? You would make sure you do your order of operations first, which is 4 squared, which is 16. So 3.14 times 16. Okay, so that being said, you're going to multiply those together. So I'm going to come over here because I have a little bit more room and multiply those two numbers. And I got 6 times 4 is 24, carry your 2. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. And then 6 times 3 is 18. And you're going to go 1 times 4, 1 times 1, 1 times 3. 4 plus 0 is 4, 8 plus 4 is 12. 8 plus 1 plus 1 is 10, and 3 plus 2 is 5. You have 2 behind the decimal in your problem, so 2 behind the decimal in your answer. And I didn't say anything about rounding, so we're just going to leave it at that number for the time being. So it's going to be 50.24 centimeters squared. Okay, so we also talked about a semicircle in the last couple of days. So semicircle is just going to be the same formula, which is that area equals pi r squared. But on a semicircle, we're going to divide it by 2 at the end. Okay, on a quarter circle, you divide by 4. So if I give this a diameter of 10 feet, okay, I am going to put my radius as 5 feet because it is half the diameter. So 3.14 times 5 squared divided by 2. So order of operations tells me exponent first. 5 times 5 is 25. Remember, it's not times 2, it's times 5. And then we're going to do multiplication on top and then the division last. So 3.14 times 25. 5 times 4 is 20, carry your 2, 5 times 1 plus 2 is 7, 5 times 3 is 15, okay? Marker spot, 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6, 0, 15, 8, 7, and we have 1, 2, 1, 2, so 78.5 divided by 2. So that's our last step. We're going to divide by 2. 2 goes into 7 3 times, and with 1 left over. 2 goes into 18 9 times, with nothing left over. Drop down your 5. And yeah, I just put my decimal up because I didn't move it. 2 goes into 5 twice. And then 1 goes in there 5 times. So our answer is going to be area equals 39.25 and then feet squared. Okay, so that's a semicircle. Remember, divide by 2. Okay, so just to review of some shapes. This is a square. I tried with a ruler. It didn't quite work out like I liked. But if we had 5 inches and 7 inches, our area formula is base times height. Okay, so our base is 5 and our height is 7. 5 times 7 is 35, and it's going to be inches squared. Our trapezoid formula, y'all should have seen this shape before, but I'm just going to remind you, it's going to be, there's 2 different ways to do it. First one is base 1 plus base 2 times height divided by 2, or you can do a 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 divided by height. Okay, I'm going to do the first way. So if my base 1 is 8 centimeters and my base 2 is 10 centimeters, I'm going to say 8 plus 10 and then multiply it times our height, which is 4, divided by 2. I can go ahead and simplify this and do 4 divided by 2 and get 2. So 8 plus 10 times 2, which is 18, times 2, which is 36. Okay? So that is done that way. This other way, you would do the 1/2 base 1 plus base 2. So 1/2 base 1 would be 8. Base 2 would be 10. And then divided by 4. I'm sorry, I wrote this wrong up here. This should not be here. This should be here. So it's times height, which is 4. So 1/2 of 18 times 4. 1/2 of 18 is 9. 9 times 4 is 36. So you still get 36 centimeters squared both ways. Okay, our last one, rectangle, same formula as a square, which is base times height. So if this is 18 and this is 5, you would say area equals 18 times 5. And 5 times 4 is 40. Carry your 4 would be 90. And we would say if it's in inches, it would be inches squared. Okay, so those are those 6 shapes. So circle, semicircle, square, trapezoid, rectangle, those 5 shapes. And then at our next page, we have 2 more shapes. Area of a triangle and then a parallelogram. So triangle has those, it's the same formula. Area equals base times height divided by 2, or 1/2 base times height. Remember 1/2 and divide by 2 are the same thing. So if the base is 5 and the height is 4, we would say 5 times 4 divided by 2. Order of operations says 5 times 4 first, so that's 20, divided by 2, which is 10. Or we could have said 1/2 of 5 times 4. And you can do, take half of anything. So I would take half of the 4 here, because it's the simplest task. Half of 4 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. And you come out with the same answer. Our last shape is a parallelogram. Okay, a parallelogram is going to use the same formula as square and rectangle, which is base times height. So, and a parallelogram is just a square on its side. So if this is 5, then the whole thing is 5. So you would have area equals 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. And we put 25 centimeters squared. Okay, so now that you're done with this, go through, and I left you a page for you to do. I need the formula on the paper and all of your work shown on the paper or a paper attached, and then turn it into the sub when you are finished. Thank you.